Let's get into the topic. So how do you make money with Bitcoin even if you don't have much to put in it with it? Basically, if you can't buy one Bitcoin, how can you make money? The thing I want to do today is a very small amount of money, just like $100. If you were to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, how could you, make gains with that? It is possible. So some people think you have to buy a whole Bitcoin when you first get into cryptocurrencies, which is not true. You can buy fractions of a Bitcoin, right? You can buy $10, $20, $60 of Bitcoin. You can buy $10,000 of Bitcoin. Any amount is fine. You will have then a fraction of a Bitcoin. So how do you make money with that, though, is the question. So I have a basically only 3 or 4 step process to basically cultivate crypto. It does take, 3 to 9 months to actually do this whole process because you are at the mercy of the market. You do have to wait for the price to make moves in order to, increase in your holdings. But I just want to show you very simple system that everybody can follow, and it only requires you to do 3 or 4 moves within basically 6 months to a year in order to start making money with crypto, even if you only have $100. Let's say you bought $100 of Bitcoin right now, and the price right now is about $8,000. Okay, so $8,000. How much Bitcoin can you get for $100 at the $8,000 price range? If you had $100 and you bought it at $8,000, you would have 0.0125 Bitcoin. Yay! So not that much Bitcoin, but it's something, right? Then where do we expect the price of Bitcoin to go in the short term? Once we do break up, the next price point is between $9,000 to $10,000. So let's say this price just goes up here to about $10,000, right? What's the next step basically? So the first step is buy Bitcoin, the easiest step to do. So $8,000, buy Bitcoin, you get 0.0125 Bitcoin. Then it gets up to $10,000. So let's say it's at $10,000 just after the 4th of July. It takes you about a month or 3 weeks to wait, and Bitcoin's at $10,000. So if you sell back into US dollar tether or US dollars at $10,000, how much money would you then have, right? So you have 0.0125 Bitcoin, and you sell it once it hits $10,000, you have $125. You just made $25 in 3 weeks. So if you only had $100 to put into it, that's a 25% gain. So that's great. For most people, that amount of money would be nothing. Of course, if you were to have done it with $1,000, so instead of $125, you'd have $1,250. So, but anyways, you have $125 now that you sold it at $10,000. And let's say Bitcoin does this severe retracement, which a lot of people are waiting for. But let's say it happens in August until November, like I have here on the chart. It's possible. And let's say it goes down. Here, I only have it going down to like 5,500 or 6,000. But let's say it goes down exactly to 5,000 just to make the math easier for us, right? Let's say it goes down to $5,000. You put back your $125. So you have $25 profit, and you put it back in when Bitcoin is $5,000. Now you have 0.025 Bitcoin. So you doubled your Bitcoin. When you started with 0.0125 Bitcoin, which I put here at the top of the screen. So you basically doubled your Bitcoin, and let's say that's in the course of roughly November or October, so 3 or 4 months. Okay, so you doubled your money, or you doubled your Bitcoin, I should say. You didn't double your money, you still only have that $25 in profit. Then, let's say by the end of the year, Bitcoin gets back up to 10,000, so it doubles again. So you have 0.025 Bitcoin times $10,000, and there you have $250. So you just more than doubled your money in the course of roughly 6 months. So those types of moves often happen in Bitcoin. It only takes those 2 steps, right? You buy Bitcoin, sell it at a high, and then you buy back in when it dips, like a major dip, and then you have money once it starts going up again. Okay, so that's the first 2 steps about how to make money with cryptocurrency, even if you only have a little bit of money. Going up $150 within 6 months doesn't sound like much to some people, but if you only have $100 to spend on Bitcoin, doubling to 250 is a significant amount. So here, Cardano was 1,000 Satoshi. So Satoshi is the smallest denomination of Bitcoin, right? So we have 1,000 Satoshi, and then here at the top, we had 2,000 Satoshi. So that's double. And that was from March of 2019 until April of 2019, April 3rd. So basically just under a month, you can double your money. So you put in only your profit. So you had $250 total. You put originally $100 total. Keep that $100 in Bitcoin. Keep that original money in Bitcoin, but take out the $150 you have in profit and put that into Cardano. And if you time the move correctly, within 1 month, like a move here, you can double your Bitcoin. Let's say, for example, Bitcoin's $10,000. So you put in $150 at $10,000. So you get 0.015 Bitcoin. That's how much profit you've made so far in Bitcoin. You still have your original $100 in Bitcoin, but you have 0.015 Bitcoin. And basically you put it into ADA here, it doubles. You have 0.03 Bitcoin. And then you take half and you put that back into your Bitcoin. So that would be 0.015. And if your original $100 that you bought, let's say roughly that's 0.1 Bitcoin plus your 0.015, then you have 0.025 Bitcoin, which is your pure profit. But then you still have half of that, or you have another portion of that in Cardano. So then you start being able to multiply your Bitcoin, but also you can start investing in other altcoins at that time. So those are the 3 moves. 1, you buy Bitcoin. 2, you jump between Bitcoin and dollars to increase your Bitcoin. Once you have profit, 3, then you find a good alternative currency that has a good timing, right? The timing is the most important. So you find a chart that looks good at the right time, and then you use it to double your Bitcoin, and you can decide to keep it in Bitcoin, or you can decide to keep it in that alternative currency. That way you can start diversifying, but actually diversification in cryptocurrency is not that important. I think having Bitcoin is the most important. So you actually want to increase that more than the others, but the others do move faster during certain periods of time. Over a long period of time, Bitcoin generally does better, but over short periods of time, the other currencies can do better. So that's why when they do pump, you want to use them to increase your Bitcoin. So those are the 3 moves to start increasing your money. And so if you had that 0.03 Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin gets to $15,000, then that's about $450. So over the course of 1 year, you multiplied your money by 4 or 5 times, from $100 to about $500 or $450. So the more money you put in, the more money you can make. If you have just $1,000, in my opinion, it's better to play mid caps and micro caps. Super Gecko, I agree if you know what you're doing. Most people who get into cryptocurrency, they don't know what altcoins are and they don't know how to play them. So I think if you're just getting into cryptocurrency and you have that $1,000, put it into Bitcoin to start learning, because it's probably the safest asset and it's probably one of the strongest that will go up. It won't go up as fast as some of these other coins, but you won't lose your money as fast either. If you do know what you're doing, then get into the mid caps and micro caps. But in a bull market, you can basically get into just about anything and make money. But right now, there's still some dead coins out there that aren't moving that much, especially the ERC20 tokens or the Ethereum-based tokens. So I would say if you're getting into mid caps and micro caps right away before you get into Bitcoin, I know most people who have done that have lost money right away. Basically, everybody who's done a consultation with me, most of them have been making money. Some of them have been getting into price ranges recently, so they're about break even, but they're waiting, for the price to go a little bit higher. But nobody has lost money that I know of. most of the guys that get in, they get in at different price points, right? They buy like $300 or $400 of Bitcoin. They wait to see what happens. The price goes up, and then they start putting in more money because they see how easy it is to make money in Bitcoin compared to other markets. So I don't recommend putting your whole house or all your money into Bitcoin. Just putting some bits in to get to see how it works. And once you actually make some money with Bitcoin, once you even make just a couple $100 with Bitcoin, you'll be hooked. So if we look at BNB compared to Bitcoin, the story is even more amazing because I bought my BNB in February 2018 with Bitcoin, right? So I bought it here, around here, when it was around 9,500 Satoshi. And actually, if I had bought it with dollars, there was that 2 or 3 month period of time where it was actually below my buy price. But because I bought it with Bitcoin, it has never gone below my buy price. I think as soon as I bought it, it went below my buy price for just a few days. But after that, it's never gone lower. It's outperformed Bitcoin its whole history, right? So it came out in the summer of 2017, and it was around 400 Satoshi. Now it's around 40,000 Satoshi. So if you just bought, if you took one Bitcoin, that's 100 times increase. So if you put one Bitcoin into BNB when it first came out around August of 2017, and then you sold back into Bitcoin now, you would have went from one Bitcoin to 100 Bitcoin. That's 100 times increase. So that just shows you the power. And that's over the course of August 2017 to roughly 2 years. So if you were smart and you'd seen BNB coming, which I think would have been pretty hard, but even if you bought it here, you'd have a pretty good increase as well. Or even if you bought it where I bought it, when it was at 10,000, that's a 4 times increase, right? So my Bitcoin that I bought it with here has increased at 4 times, right? So if, let's say theoretically I bought one whole Bitcoin worth of BNB, then I would have 4 Bitcoin, and that's over the course of a year and a few months. 4 Bitcoin right now would be roughly $32,000. So pretty good. Very, very basic review of how to make money first getting into crypto. So through that, I just showed you how you can take $100 and within a year, you can be roughly up to $450 or $500 or more if you go through 3 or 4 different steps.